Thank you for lunch today. But I have to say that restaurant wasn't that great. I even tried looking it up on an Instagram and it didn't have any results. So I don't think anyone cares for that place. But for someone that has no taste like you, I'd expect to be taken to lunch somewhere with no taste as well.
Arya, is this your way of saying that the food wasn't to your liking? It had been a long time since I had seen you and my older brother, so I had a hard time trying to find a place that we might all like. But I did end up splurging a bit there.
What? You spent that much? At a restaurant like that? Well, I am happy that you chose to invite your older brother and his wife out to eat, but next time, can you find a place that's more on my level? Saying that you splurged on a place that reminds me of any other chain restaurant is a bit, well, that just makes me feel a little sad for you.
I guess I didn't realize that you tend to like things that are a bit more posh.
Well, for the longest time now, I've only ever been eating and shopping at the finest places. And that's what makes me totally different from some simple girl like you.
I see. So then you really must have a knack for high dining.
I suppose that's what everyone must be saying, huh? So that's why today I felt a little disappointed by the lunch you took us out for. It wasn't even the problem of the flavors being so simple, but the fact that most of the food didn't even taste cooked. I'm really sorry. You just told me you spent a lot of money there, but to me, that place is nothing more than a fast food joint.
I guess I never thought that you would dislike the food there that much, so I'm sorry as well.
Don't worry about it. You don't have to apologize. If anything, I apologize for having you waste your money on such an awful place. I suppose this shows that you don't have that much money, and this was just you trying your best to please us.
Well, actually, it's quite alright. I don't think you have to feel bad at all for the money I spent here.
No, please. Don't spend too much on us next time if it's for a place like that. Today at least helped me see one thing, though, and that's that you really don't have a lot of money, do you?
Eh?
Even your clothing today looked like something you dragged out of the Salvation Army or something. Actually, that looks like the same clothing you have been wearing for a few years now, right? There's just no comparing your tattered and old clothing to my $700 one-piece dress that I wore today.
Wow, your one piece cost you $700?
But in my case, that kind of money is not hard to come by. I'm sure that you've heard from Jason before, but recently I have changed to a new career. I was finally able to find a job at the apparel company of my dreams.
Yeah, I did hear that from Jason before. He said that you finally made it to the place you wanted to be, and that every day you seemed so happy to go to work.
Literally every day is like a trip to the amusement park with how much excitement I have for leaving the house to go to work. I'm just in love with the fashion industry, and the money I make there is fitting for my needs. So, in the past few weeks, I've been able to use all that money I make there to go out and shop for whatever clothing I desire. And I don't need to worry about ending up with no money in the end because I make too much for that to ever happen.
Well, that must be a very rewarding life you have then.
I'm sorry, Layla. I'm sure to a moneyless person like you, this all sounds like I'm bragging or something. But to save you from any of this embarrassment, starting today, you should do a little better when it comes to choosing a place to eat for your brother and I. So, if you plan to invite us out again, I'd like a place with a bit better service and food, please.
Hey, Layla, I'm really sorry about today. I should have prepared for Arya to start bragging as much as she did again. You went ahead and took us out for lunch, and yet all she did was complain about how much of a penny pincher you are.
You don't have to apologize for her. It was too bad that the food didn't please her, though.
Actually, I thought the meals there were really freaking good. I just don't see how Arya could say such things like that when everything was great there. Anyway, today I had something that I wanted to ask you. Did she not even notice that you are the CEO of the company she's working for now?
Yeah, I don't think she noticed a thing. I was a bit worried about that as well. Which is crazy because she started sending me messages saying that I have no money and am a poor person.
What? She went as far as to send you that many rude messages?
She even told me that today's restaurant was comparable to a chain restaurant or fast food, and even that my choice in clothing made me look cheap.
Seriously?
Her going that far really surprised me. And I had thought that you already explained to her my position and everything.
Well, I thought that I didn't have to explain your position to her because she should be able to recognize the CEO. I was even at the point that when we met today, I didn't think I'd have to introduce you to her again. And she never even spoke to you about her new job or anything. Instead, the whole time she just complained about the restaurant and the food.
Then she really must have no clue about who I really am, even though I own the company that she just got hired into.
Do you think if I went and explained things to her, it'd already be too late?
Well, a little. I've already got a pretty good idea of the kind of person she really is after she called her own CEO a poor person. If anything, I'm not even sure she'd go back on her word anyways.
Yeah, I bet me saying something to her now would only make her more upset and annoying.
Well, why don't we just let things be and stop thinking about trying to tell her anything? There had to be a point where she realizes that I'm her CEO, and I think finding out herself is a lot less stressful for everyone. And at that point, if she still doesn't act mature about things or apologize to me, we can make a plan to deal with her.
Sounds good. For the time being, I'll just make sure to keep an eye on her. But I'm really sorry about today, Layla. I think she's just been so happy about this new job and has sort of forgotten that she's not a child anymore. Actually, that alone is a bit scary to me because all the money she's been earning has gone straight into clothing and other brand items.
Well, I'm just happy to see that one of my employees is having a great time in the company. Anywho, good luck dealing with Arya, and hopefully pretty soon here she understands who I really am.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Well, Layla, see you again.
Right, the next time we meet will be at your guys' wedding, right? I'm looking forward to it.
I'm so sorry, Layla. I hate to have to ask this from you, but could you please go back home? I really don't think that plain dress of yours fits in within my wedding.
What?
You have to understand after having a look at this wedding, right? There are tons of decorations and really high-end bouquets all over the place, as well as the food is on par with something you can find in Dubai. I have always had this dream ever since I was a little girl of having a wedding like no other. And so today, we made sure to put a lot of money into this wedding and everything that goes along with it.
Yeah, and I do really think this wedding looks like something out of a movie. I love all the really exotic flowers you guys have brought here, and I think this all fits your personality perfectly.
And so, I'd like to ask you to please leave so that you don't ruin the beauty of this event. Just seeing you in a single-colored dress with no floral designs or anything is... Well, I just want to know what the hell you were thinking.
I didn't think it was that plain. I'm sure it's a bit more simple than what most people would wear, but at the same time, the quality is excellent. And I really thought the simplicity of this dress would help you as the bride stand out more.
Well, it doesn't work for me at all, so please go home. I've also noticed how cheap all your jewelry is, as well as that lame purse of yours. Really, you just look like a whore dressing up for a night out looking for desperate men.
A whore?
I bet you tried to make yourself look the best you could, but that's not going to be enough to fool me. As you know, I spend a lot of money on all sorts of fancy and brand clothing, so I can tell when something is from a proper fashion brand and when something is a cheap knockoff. And now that I work for an apparel company, I can say that it's all too easy to see that you have no money for any high-end clothing.
Well, Aria, I didn't think I'd have to say this outright, but this dress I'm in now actually costs a lot more than you may think. I made sure to wear something today that wouldn't distract people from you, but would still fit the vibe of being a very pricey wedding. So, I'm sorry, but you have no idea what you're talking about.
Are you kidding me? There's no way I wouldn't know what I'm talking about. Stop trying to fight your way out of this after I exposed you in that cheap dress.
But I'm saying that this dress is anything but cheap.
Ah, right. I'm sorry. To me, the dress is very cheap, but to someone with no money like you, that dress probably cost you your whole month's salary. Please excuse me for being so out of touch with the poor.
What?
When it comes to the money I make, the cheapest dresses I am willing to look at and touch are those that are $3,000. But when it comes to you, you don't even make enough per month to buy anything about $200, so that's where you're limited, right?
Aria, no matter what I say to you, all you see me as is someone with little money.
Well, that's because you are a poor person. Every time I look at you, all I see is someone that can't afford good food and someone that wears the same clothing they got years ago at the local secondhand shop. I mean, the place you brought us for lunch last time was on the same level as fast food. Also, it looks to me like Jason does a really good job of hiding what you do for work. I'm sure he's just too embarrassed to tell me that his younger sister is working a very low-end job.
Huh?
I had tried asking just after all of us left from the lunch we had. I wanted to know why you never had any money and why you look like a druggie at times. And at that point, Jason couldn't even give me a good answer to that simple question. And from that reaction from him, I settled with the idea that you just don't have a good job at all. I'm sure he was trying his best to keep that a secret from me, but it wasn't hard to tell how embarrassed he was by his younger sister having nothing.
I see now. There's no way any of this could be just a huge misunderstanding by you, right?
Of course not! And so, that's why right now I'm asking for you to leave the wedding. Just by having you in the same building as all of us has probably made many people feel sick. So, before we have to call an ambulance or cancel my special day, I'd like you to go away.
Aria, do you seriously not know who the heck this person is? Well, maybe I need to start giving some more direct hints then, because it has been months now and you still haven't noticed. And so I'm really starting to get impatient with you not being able to notice anything about Layla.
Wait a sec. Is this Jason?
This is, in fact, your groom Jason. In other words, Layla's older brother. For a little while, I hadn't seen my sister anywhere, so I went to go find her, and now I've seen what the hell's been going on. What the hell are you thinking asking my sister to leave this wedding? Which, by the way, is also my wedding.
Well, that's because this is supposed to be a very high-class wedding, yet she came here looking like a whore on the street. I spent months and years getting everything I wanted ready for this wedding so that my dream could come true. I've even been saving the money we used for this wedding since I was 5. So I can't let someone come in here looking so average in their plain dress and knockoff accessories.
A plain dress, huh? And because it's plain, you think you can call my sister poor? Even after she gave you a very good explanation for why the dress is so plain? Yet you just don't want her here because she doesn't fit your idea of someone with a lot of money, huh?
What? In other words, I just don't like her. Actually, I just hate anyone that doesn't have money.
So then you're saying as long as the person has money, you like them? Well, if that were true, then you'd be in love with my sister. I mean, she is your CEO for God's sake, so she's making at least 10 times as much as you.
She's the one that owns the apparel company I work for?
You were never once able to take a hint or learn this for yourself, so I had to finally tell you right now. And I'm sorry to say, but she is your CEO, Aria. And right now you're asking for the owner of the company you work for to leave your wedding because you don't like her.
Huh? No. Hold on. What do you mean she's the CEO? There's no way that someone like Layla could be the CEO of this company.
Why would I be lying to you about something like that?
But there's so many reasons for why that can't be true. How could someone that looks so simple be the one to run an apparel company? Especially when she wears clothing like that. Are you freaking kidding me, Jason?
Well, I've been hinting at this for a long time. I made sure to get you to understand who my sister was, that before your interview there you watch videos about the company that had my sister in them. And I thought that that would have surely been enough to get your attention, but...
What? Wait. I did watch those videos. But I thought that the CEO I saw in those was a lot better looking. Like, why would I ever make the connection that the CEO in the video was going to be your sister? After all, in the video, she must have had a pound of makeup on or something, and so the CEO never looked a thing like Layla to me, so I had just thought she wasn't that person. I at least thought my CEO was going to be one of the other people in the video.
You really overthought everything. And by the way, Layla is saying she wasn't wearing a lot of makeup for those videos, so maybe you just didn't want to even accept the fact that she was the person in the video.
Why? Stop acting like you gave me enough hints or anything to where I should have known she was the CEO all along. If you really wanted me to know that your sister is the CEO, then why didn't you just tell me right away?
Well, that would have been irresponsible of me. I didn't want you going in making a fool of yourself or others by thinking that you were some big cheese because you knew the CEO personally.
Huh?
Well, it's not like that helped things, though, since you immediately went off the rails when we had lunch with my sister, and you started calling her poor and plain. You even sat at the table eating the food she bought for us while complaining about the food and the place. And I really did plan after that to tell you who my sister was, but instead you took it upon yourself to start making fun of her, and that embarrassed the hell out of me even more.
But that was...
So instead, I just hoped that you'd find out for yourself. Therefore, I just kept her job to myself and waited for you to figure this out. But the fact that you never did, instead going and making fun of Layla while bragging about all the money you spend, it just pisses me off, Aria.
But...
No, Aria, today was really the end of me letting you walk around without realizing what you've been doing. You literally just asked your CEO, your boss, to leave the wedding because she's too poor for you, even though that's not correct at all. I can understand liking and hating people, so even if she was only your CEO, I might understand. But she's also your sister-in-law now. My sister!
Well, that's...
My sister has always been rooting for us both to get married and has been helping me in any way, shape, or form with the preparations. And she wanted to get closer to you by having that lunch together. And that restaurant that you kept making fun of and calling plain was very important to her. And it still is, because that restaurant has 3 Michelin stars and is run by a world-renowned chef. Actually, that restaurant is so important to her that the only way you can get a reservation there right now is by being a friend of that chef.
I never knew that!
I saw everything that you said to my sister after that lunch. You acted like you knew something about food, yet all you had shown us was how much of an idiot you are.
Oh crap! What am I going to do, Jason? I just said to that person to leave my wedding! Do you think you can give the phone back to her so that we can talk about this? I want to explain to her what happened and that I'm so sorry for this.
I'm sorry, but you're way too late. She already left and is going home, and she told me to hang on to her phone for her.
She already went home?
Well, you told her to leave repeatedly, so she had no other choice. And she said you'd probably try to get her to come back by spamming her with texts and calls, so she didn't need her phone anymore. So she handed it to me and walked out the front doors.
That means she's nothing but pissed at me. What have I done to my CEO?
I know that you're in the middle of having a breakdown right now, but I have something to say about the wedding. We're going to cancel it, and you're going to apologize to all of them.
Why do we have to cancel it?
Isn't that obvious? I can't let myself marry someone that's too stupid to catch any of the hints that were made, and I definitely can't marry someone that kicks my sister out. And of course, after this, we'll be through with one another.
You can't!
I just can't do it with you anymore. This has shown me that you will never be caring enough to even be around my family and treat them with respect. Well, I'm gonna let everyone know that the wedding is over. Go ahead and take off that dress and get ready to go home.
Wait, Jason! I want to have this wedding, so don't say you'll cancel it!
Well, I don't want to have this, so I have no other choice but to cancel. You'll just have to live this one down after the way you've acted.
Layla? Well, actually this whole time, I want to apologize for how rude I've been to you and for kicking you out of the wedding. So please, let me apologize to you.
It's alright. You don't have to worry about it. I know to you never thought anything of the boring clothing I was wearing, but that's fine, because I know that you spend all your money on things that look flashy and high value. And so whatever I was wearing at your wedding must have given you that same idea, because you've probably never heard about brands that make high-end and conservative clothing before. So the way you've acted towards me has really taught me some important things about you and fashion.
Wait, hold on! I never meant to be mean when saying any of that. I thought at first that you wearing that simple and boring clothing meant that you had no money, but now I know that you just like that style of fashion.
Okay.
I want to tell you that I'm sorry and regret what I said to you before, so please don't use any of this as a reason to fire me. You wouldn't do that, right? As you know now, the wedding has been canceled and things between Jason and I have gone south, so if I'm fired, my life will be in shambles.
Can you calm down about that? I would never fire you for that. If If I were to fire you for that, then you'd only have even more of a reason to hate me.
Are you serious? Thank God! At least I don't have to worry about my job and can continue to make money!
But that doesn't mean there won't be other consequences.
Huh?
After hearing everything you had said to me, I started to think about that attitude of yours and how it affects the workplace. So I went ahead and asked other employees and managers about you, and it's not just me that you've been talking down to and hurting.
You looked into what?
I even heard things from people outside the workplace that you're a real jerk a lot of the time and love to brag about your fashion and money. So to me, you seem like someone that could really cause further harm to my company when it comes to my employees and other companies that I work with. I already know about all the trash talking you've been doing about other brands while working here, as well as trash talking even this company at times.
Hold on.
I really am happy that you were so excited to work here, don't get me wrong, but there is no reason for you to act like a self-entitled brat while you're working here. All you are is an employee that puts clothing into boxes for the company, and that's it. And to be honest, I have part-time employees within the company that have more important roles than you do.
All right! I'll make sure to stop acting so poorly. And to everyone that I've been a jerk to, I'll make sure to go and say sorry to each and every one of them. I'm telling you that from today, I'm going to be a changed woman.
So for that reason, I'm going to have you work as the janitor of the company. I bet that should give all those people that you talk down to a good idea of who you really are. And when the time's right, I'd like you to ask each and every one of the employees in this company if they forgive you or not yet.
You want me cleaning up all the messes here?
If you don't want to, that's fine. I'll just have no other choice but to fire you for verbally harming other employees. And if you are angered by my choice to fire you, you can try and fight it. But saying that you don't like the work I've given you, or that you didn't mean to hurt a lot of other employees' feelings, isn't going to be enough of a good reason. So I'm giving you a choice right now, to stay working for me as a janitor, or to leave the company and find somewhere else that'll hire you. But if you don't want to do either of those, well, then I don't know what to tell you.
But...
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what choice you make next week. Now, I have some meetings I need to go to, so I'll see you later. Arya and Jason were forced to have a full family discussion about the state of their relationship, which ultimately led to the decision that they needed to get divorced. As part of the fallout, Arya was left responsible for paying the wedding's cancellation fee and covering all the associated costs. However, Arya wasn't ready to let Jason go. She repeatedly screamed, begging him to give her another chance, promising that she would change if he just gave her a year. Against his better judgment, Jason agreed, but made it clear that she only had 1 year to prove herself. Since then, Arya has been working for me as the janitor, cleaning up everyone's messes while constantly seeking forgiveness. She quietly endures the humiliation, determined to make amends. However, after months of physical labor, she has started to grow colder. The constant exhaustion and degradation have slowly drained the warmth from her eyes. I don't know how she'll be by the time the year is up, but at least for now, she's putting in the effort. She works hard and makes sure not to say anything that could hurt anyone again, fully aware that this might be her last chance. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.